Hello, and welcome back to Hit the Bar. Okay, nice little on-screen graphics for you, weekly live show. This time we've got a special guest, and it is none other than men like Theo.
Hey, how are we doing, lads?
Don't worry. We got you your own graphic as well. Let's go.
That is beautiful. You put time into that.
My co-host is not here just yet. He's running a bit late, but he'll be here very, very soon. So you're starting off with just us two for now. But for those of you that don't know, this is a new show that we're doing, weekly football show. We did it by ourselves last week, but we'll try and get guests up every single time. And I obviously had to ask Mario Theo. So thank you for coming through, man. Thank you for coming through. Of course, man. I think it's time. We'll let a few people come in. I'm already seeing a few TDLs rocking up through the chat, man.
That's great.
Your fan is ridiculous.
Page for me.
It is. Well, if you do, I think it's just going to go mental. I don't even know if we're going to be able to read the chat. But yeah, we're live every Monday, and then we'll put clips out throughout the week in case you guys have missed anything. But while we wait for my co-host Mitchell to get in here, we'll put clips out throughout the week. Oh, I can say that.
Yeah, that was your own audio. I'll just click it on your video, slap it on the community page.
Mate, love that.
Should help. You might see a few TDL comments. I might even comment TDL myself. Look.
Oh, don't. It's because ODL out here. ODL offside is gonna look at that. Bringing herself in the chat. Unbelievable. But okay, I've got a new segment that I'm gonna do at the start of every time we have a guest on. Okay, and you know the words "hit the bar" got triple meanings on that. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, right? And I want you to answer. First of all, what person would you like to go to the bar with the most? So like celebrity, footballer, whoever. Like, who would you like to go to the bar with the most? Who is your go-to music artist? And which Premier League player would you count on to hit the crossbar from the halfway line to win you 10K? Let's say. So 3 levels of hitting the bar: music, drinks, and obviously footballer. Hit the crossbar. Who are you going for those 3 things?
Drinks. Oh, that one I'd have to think about. It would have to be someone who's got character, maybe football related, because I feel like there's so many ex-footballers, I think, out there who've got such a history. Yeah. And you just wanna like talk to them about their career and like what they're doing. I feel like someone who'd love a piss up and would be on a great night out is Eric Cantona. He does love promoting the beer, to be fair. That's not a bad choice. Like, I'm a Bolton fan and he's United, but he's a character. He went into his acting after football. You know, he's got a knack about him. He's got Oasis songs that he does music videos with. Have you seen that recently? I have seen that. Oh, mate. And did you red wine? You know what I mean? I feel like you could just talk about his career and his life, and that it would be the best night of your life. Like his stories. Do you remember when he did like I don't know if it was was it the speech for the Ballon d'Or, like the best awards or something? But he did a speech for something, and he just was, I don't know what he was waffling. I don't know what he was talking about. Oh mate, he started going on some mad tangent on another level. But it's great content, and quite frankly, it's just imagine being on a piss up with him there. Like how cool would that be? That's not a bad shout, to be fair. Yeah. Especially if he's had one too many and he starts like fly kicking some fans as well. Oh mate, exactly. He loves a scrap. Okay, then what about music artists? What kind of music? Who's your go-to artist then? Well, I like a mix of everything. Seriously, like I like a lot of the older stuff. You know, I'm a big Oasis fan. Kasabian, Stone Roses. That kind of music I'm a big fan of. So if I had to pick one, it's difficult. People ask me this a lot, and it's difficult to go and pick one, but I'd probably say overall I'm gonna go Kasabian. Kasabian. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, do you like that music? The thing is that kind of music was a long time ago for me. I think when I was younger, I banged out a lot of like Arctic Monkeys, a bit of Oasis. Like this was back in the day when I was like about 10, 12, something like that. Wow. But now, since I was like, I think 13 onwards, teenager onwards, I've just been all about the rap music, to be honest with you. Seriously? Like, yeah, genuinely, I've did non-stop like grime. Obviously not so much grime anymore, but back in the school days, it was all grime. And now definitely like US trap. I'm all hip hop guy, to be honest with you. I watch a lot of it, but for me, I mean, I'm there's certain rappers and stuff that I'm a big fan of. But I mean, who's your favorite out of interest?
It's a good question, man, because I think it's so bait to go like Drake as like an artist, but the problem is that there's a reason why he's at the top and why he kills like every sort of he does like he raps in Spanish and Arabic and he can pull up any sort of banger. But so he's someone it's like a go-to listen because he covers almost so many genres with rap. Yeah, but I do love Dave. I do love Dave. Dave is unreal. He's sick. So I think
Pop Smoke.
Pop Smoke's good, but I'm not. I know a lot of people are religiously.
Such a shame he died because he was hitting his prime.
Same with Juice WRLD. I was just massively getting into Juice WRLD before he did as well, and it is a real shame. So many young, talented people. XX.
They need to be looked after. They need to have a team around them at all times.
100%, because I think like a lot of it comes down to what depression, drug use, and obviously some of them getting shot and gang related. But
the gang related stuff. It's like you need once you make it. Like you could see on Pop Smoke's Instagram, he was posting like where he was. Like if you know there's people trying to get you, why would you do that? And even if you do, why isn't there a team around you? It's such a shame that these guys, because they created the best music. I feel like Pop Smoke had like an English. He was English style, but he was an American big time guy, and because he loved the UK scene, he kind of had that mix in it, and I feel like that's I loved his music until what happened. So it's such a shame. Yeah,
100%. I think you're right as well. If they didn't have a team around him to because obviously he maybe just thinking normally like, I could just post where I am like standard like you normally would, but if he didn't have a proper team around him, it's a real shame. All right, okay, finally then.
The crossbar one,
the crossbar to win you 10K or whatever, like some big amount of money, halfway line. What Premier League player are you trusting to hit that crossbar first time? No redos.
Okay, who's got a long ball on them?
You're going tactically with this.
From what distance? What distance?
Halfway line. It's halfway line.
Makes sense. Okay. Do I go for someone Spurs related to make you happy, or do I just say anyone in the world?
Any Premier League player. You could go controversial and say Arsenal or Chelsea player or current player. Someone in the Prem right now who you're choosing.
Oh, someone in the Prem right now.
Prem right now to secure the bag for you. Who are you going for?
Premier League right now. I am kind of flicking towards Hakim Ziyech on his left. Ooh. I feel like he just ping it.
When you say that, it reminded me of that. What was that? That clip of him when he did that long switch when he was at Ajax, and it went viral because it was like it was like the low angle right next to him, and he just switched it perfectly from the right side to the top left.
This is another guy who I'd put my money on. Trent Alexander-Arnold. I've seen videos.
Even with his dipper form this year.
Oh yeah, no. Okay, I'll give it to you. His dipper form is to do with like him being badly, like defending badly, and maybe his crosses hasn't always been on point. But if he's in his own place, there's no football. Like this is completely different to football. This is just natural talent. Of course. No one's moving around you. There's no pressure on you. I feel like Trent has that natural long ball. Same with Ziyech. That you'd put money on them to do it. And I remember watching a video of Trent in the England training ground during the Russia World Cup, or maybe later, maybe during the Nations League. And they were all pinging it, and everyone was just missing. And then Trent got it twice in a row, and just took it out of everyone. Yeah, and he's different gravy. And we know when Trent's in his prime, he's the best right back in the world. That's why he's probably going to get Team of the Year.
That is very true, to be fair. There's a lot of shouts in the chat you've got for, obviously, a Man City fan saying Ederson. Obviously, a lot of people coming through with Kane.
I get that.
Can't do anything wrong. Pogba. Got a bit of he's got a spray on him though. He can do...
If I was putting my money on it, I would rather go with Trent than Kane.
Fair enough. All right, so Trent's the man. So, okay, so you've gone for Cantona for the drinking. Artist, you say Kasabian, the one you say you'd go to artist, and you say Trent fitting the crossbar. Okay, I like that. Yeah. It's good that you mentioned the Russia World Cup actually, because that's kind of coming on to the next segment. So if you want to get into a bit about you, to be fair as well. This is at the moment it's kind of like this is almost like a podcast, but we're trying to get this into more of like a football show where we can do that. That's more for when we can do more things outside of lockdown. But for now, obviously, the people want to know a bit more about you. So I think, for me personally, I think the first like big rise I saw from you was around the Russia World Cup when it was like obviously you were there for the longer than the whole competition, right? You were there for months, and obviously putting out content throughout the whole thing. Couple of million views on one. What was it? The Colombia. We went from a penalty. That's on like over 1 mil. Obviously, everything else just smashing. And I think that's when I saw like the first big increase in subscribers for you as well. And I was just wondering, kind of like what your expectations go into Russia versus like the reality when it comes to the YouTube side of things. Obviously, you've gone World Cup content, but did you kind of expect it to do as well as it did, or was there anything different to what you were kind of expecting?
Well, I mean, my channel was sitting on I'd say about 50,000 subs before the World Cup, and then I came out of it over 100K. It did very well for my channel, and it was over a short space of time. The growth was crazy. Like I was growing, like I think I was posting average twice a day, which was crazy because you'd expect. I mean, you think about the surroundings. You're in Russia. You're out and about. You know, you want to enjoy yourself. But we kind of went into that thinking this is a great opportunity. I love it. I love traveling. I love football. You know,
same.
There's everyone's eyes are on it. Let's make content around it. No one else is going to do this because everyone's going to be worried about Russia. I'm half Russian. You know, if there's
that does help if you're half Russian to be able to get around the lingo and the people in the area.
Exactly. The big thought about that World Cup was, if you go out there, you're going to get beaten up. You're going to have fights. There's all of this. But we had that little bit of, I know we thought, okay, people are going to be scared to go and there's going to be less coverage of what's going on there. So what about we go and be the guys there? And that's what happened because my dad speaks Russian. And if we get in a difficult situation, my dad can talk to them. And that's the big difference.
Level it out. If that makes sense. I think there's definitely been a little bit of history between, I guess, English and Russian fans when it comes to football hooliganism. So I can imagine maybe some people are coming out looking for the English people or vice versa as well. So,
Marseille, really?
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it obviously worked out amazing for you, but is there any sort of wild stories from yourself? I know you said you got your dad and yourself there on the Russian side can kind of help out, or is there anything, not necessarily like conflict with fans or anything like that, it's just anything that you thought was like just such an amazing experience?
Yeah. So when Russia beat Spain, we were in St. Petersburg, which is the second biggest city in Russia. In my opinion, the most beautiful.
It looks insane. I've always wanted to visit, to be fair. I haven't been myself.
You should go, and it's difficult because you need a visa. But basically, we were there when Russia beat Spain. And the city just erupted. Like it's in England. If we win a game, everyone, the beer, everyone's down in the pubs. Beers everywhere. Everyone's happy. Yeah. Russia, they're happy, but they're also crazy. Like that's the difference. There are people running down through the central, speeding, including police cars speeding with Russia flags, holding them out, beeping. Everyone's beeping. Like the roads are just corrupt. Like if England beat Spain, the policemen are still going to arrest you for speeding. But in Russia, they join in. The policemen were dancing on the streets with the people. Everyone was drunk. Like, if you go into a bar, the barman will give you free drinks. Like, that's just how it was. They were like, I remember being in a bar, and as soon as Russia beat Spain, they were lining up vodka shots for everybody for free, and every bar was the same. Everything was free. It was like I don't know what it felt weird. It felt unbelievable. It was incredible. The people just love it there. If something big happens to the nation, then everybody's happy on a different level to here. It's just nuts. So that was a real wild day when Russia beat Spain.
You know what? This is what I miss about traveling for football as well. Is I feel like there's so the way just different fans celebrate. Like, I can't imagine just the police joining in, just going mental.
They were loving
the football. And I know, like, obviously being Greek myself, I know some Greek fans are mental as well when it comes to the football. And I think it's just so interesting to travel the world and just see how different fans experience and like do the football. It's like you said, like obviously we know England enough. We know it's definitely down to the boozer, get a bit wasted, watch the football, and then who knows where you will end up. But it's very interesting to see the different cultures from that. And was it so when you were out in Russia for the World Cup? Is that when you did the film?
No, I did that film
like separate occasion.
A year later. They planned it after the Russia World Cup. It was based around the World Cup, but that was like a year later.
So they saw obviously the rise, everything that happened well, and then kind of brought you back.
Yeah, and they kind of based it around that. And that film still hasn't come out, which is it's a shame because
didn't the trailer come out?
There was some problem
like a year and a half ago.
Yeah. So there was a problem with it. Why they couldn't post it because they're trying to. It's a short film, right? So it's like 45 minutes long, but it's like all professionally filmed. Like everything was crazy professional. I posted a few clips on my Insta story when I was doing it. And it was like, wow. And they're taking this stuff really seriously. And they had like a billionaire guy who kind of acted in it, but also paid the whole thing. And he's a guy that he's a top lad. I'm actually in one of his online biographies, but it was just the most surreal thing to act in a film and have such a main role. It was crazy, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, if you're a billionaire spending peas on a film, I think I'd want to be not the star, but I would want to be involved in it. But yeah, how was your debut acting experience or full acting experience then?
It was pretty good.
That would be nervy for me, to be honest with you.
It was nervy, and like there was so much. There's loads of pressure on you, more than anything I've ever done in my life. So much pressure because you've got so many people, extras, actors, videographers, and the big thing, time in the day to get it right. And if you mess up, everybody has to go again. Now, most of these guys are professionals and they're used to having to do it over and over again. But if you play a big role in a scene, which I did in a lot of them, they rely on you to get it right and the way the director wants it. And the director didn't even speak English, so he had to tell someone else who told me what to do. He spoke a bit, but it was really difficult to understand exactly what they want. So the way I portrayed myself was the way the director wanted. And to get to that, you have to smash it. It was so stressful, and it was long days, and we were traveling all around Moscow getting different videos and scenes and stuff. But it was, looking back, it was really cool to do.
At the time, were you kind of like, this is not, like, were there any points where you kind of like, this is not for me? Like, this is too much stress?
No.
Was it just kind of enjoyable?
I thought I need to do more of this. I thought like,
really,
it's a good balance. You know, YouTube's, you know, you're never super stressed out because there's not the people right there. It's all through a screen. You can kind of, no one's saying stuff back to you like a director would, right? But I thought I'd take acting seriously. I thought to myself, I need to improve. I realized from a film, I thought, I'm not that good of an actor. There's a lot I can learn. And the way you learn is from experience.
It's just doing it.
Yeah. And this was the first serious thing that I'd done. So I thought to myself, okay, in the future, I could consider it, but I'd have to put the work in and throw myself in the deep end, like that film, to take it seriously.
Well, at least to be fair, at least you can say you've got the experience now from doing that. And it's kind of like you can use that, say, I don't know, in a few years' time, if you're actually thinking, oh, you know what? Films or like short films, whatever it may be, is kind of like an avenue you want to go down, then at least you know you've kind of got the original bit of experience, and then kind of know how and going on to it. And like, I think, like you're saying, touching on the difference between obviously YouTube and that is, I guess, with YouTube or vlogging, games or whatever, it's literally just yourself and the experience. There's no like you don't need to retake, you don't need to do this whatever. Whereas when it's more like creative, like you've got to go kind of to the script, deliver it like the director wants. There's a lot more pressure. There's a lot more pressure. I think
a boss involved. It's never
and again, as like I guess a newbie to it, would you, if you had to like do quite a few retakes, were you just a bit? Did you notice yourself getting like really frustrated with?
Obviously, I want myself to do better.
Fine for the most part.
But I mean, if they bring a guy who's a YouTuber, they don't expect him to be a top actor. You know, they wrote to me via email, and you know they brought me in because the whole script is about the whole YouTube thing that went on. It's different. I'm a photographer in it rather than a video thing, and I gain way more followers in the film than I do in real life because films are overreacted, and you know it doesn't. They glamorize it. They basically turn it into like a Hollywood style situation, rather than what really goes down. You know, and when they hired me, they definitely didn't expect me to be a great actor. So as much as I was frustrated in myself, I was thinking, well, I mean, what did they expect of me?
They came to you. You're the one that's going to turn up. You can only do the best you can in there. And I think I've got.
Yeah, I always do.
There we go. Little cheeky squeak. That's like the opening shot from the trailer, I believe.
Yeah.
Young. Was it
By the
Alex,
way,
the name of your character?
Yeah, I'm hoping that I can post that on my channel when it comes out.
Well, the whole thing. I think I think they would be stupid not to be honest with you.
Do well.
Very stupid not to, because obviously giving your audience and people will want to see what you're doing in a film. Like why not post it on?
There's some clause that they want to get out in short films festivals first, which is obviously cancelled because of COVID. So it's just all one big delay right now. So but films take a while. That's just how it is. It's ready to go. That's the thing. So all I got to do is wait. It's out of my hands. But looking forward to it.
Oh man, that must have been an incredible experience. I was trying to say like no spamming, but I think, to be honest with you, with your army and then like the NDL,
I might have told them TDL.
It's a bit a bit ropey. But Misha's going to be in. He said a couple minutes ago, he just texted me saying he'll be here in 10 minutes, so he'll be on here soon, guys. For those asking in the chat, not to worry. But I think the final thing, touching on that kind of area, or like talking about Russia, World Cup and all that, is a little bit on England and the Euros, if they are to go ahead, which supposedly is going to go ahead. Any sort of early predictions for England and what you think is going to happen?
I think it's difficult right now because you've seen our recent form, you've seen the formation, the tactics we've been playing. And kind of, it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult. How is it going to change? Yeah, I've got the little, there we go, little England flag behind me.
Oh, there you go.
And it's difficult because I don't like the way we play right now. I'm not a massive fan of what Southgate's going for at the moment. But could it change? Yes. I don't know what he's going to do. In the time we have, which is, around 6 months now, will we be able to change the tactics successfully and make the most out of our best players? When there aren't that many international breaks, there isn't that many games left until we're in the Euros.
I'm pretty sure we've only got like one major international break left. Yeah. I think it's normally around about March time.
Friendlies. So realistically, mate, we're playing a 5 at the back system that Southgate wants to play. And yes, it worked at the Russia World Cup, but everybody was crap that we played really, apart from Colombia, and they didn't have James Rodriguez. And I feel like if they had James, they'd have destroyed us. And we got beaten by Croatia. On paper, we should have won that. Actually, our team back then wasn't great. If you look at the likes of the players in our team, we had like Ashley Young still putting a shift at left wing back. And he's obviously right-footed, so that was a little bit of a weird one. And we had just different players who weren't that great in the team. Jesse Lingard, Vardy barely gave him much game time, but he was there and he was on the bench. It was weird, right? But we still had enough in it. We still had enough. Sterling was off form. Now we have like the likes of Sancho. We've got,
I think, Calvert-Lewin is like another option up front as well.
Calvert-Lewin, Danny Ings, all these lads who are on form in the best league in the world.
Trent, Reece James.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of...
Reece James is a competition to Trent. I still think Trent... Obviously, Trent's another one, but I still think Trent should start. I think if we play him right wing back, he could be dangerous on if he's on form. And, Chilwell as well. That's an improvement on Ashley Young, definitely. There's loads of players.
Around is John
Eric
Stone.
Dyer at centre-back,
Yeah, Eric Dyer and John Stones, a lot of people saying is our best, probably, well, maybe Maguire again now, but I saw a comment earlier saying Stones and Dyer is our best centre-back partnership, which give me a year ago, or not even like 6 months ago, I would have said no way.
Yeah.
Like, what is that? But they're doing well. I think
Eric Dyer, you can say more than me, but he didn't do a great job. I mean, last couple of games, he's been losing out on headers, which have led to goals conceded. But overall, that's the one thing I'd expect Dyer to have. Like, what was it your last game?
Well, we conceded against Sheffield. Yeah, Goldrick. A lot of our goals conceded this year have been balls that have gone over his head.
Yeah.
Which is very surprising considering he's like 6'4" and should be good. Should be good already. But he's improved for the most part of the season.
Yeah, if it wasn't for those 2 recent moments, I would have said yes, get him in the team. And I know Southgate will still start him because I feel like he's the kind of player he likes. Plays for Tottenham week in, week out. He's a leader. He's a boss. I feel like in a competition like the Euros or World Cup, he'll be very good because there aren't that many games. So teams won't have that long to realise what to do to exploit them. He gets stuck in. We've all seen what he's done to Sergio Ramos.
Yeah.
And he's proud of playing for England. He can
bag penalties. He bagged penalties to get us through last time. He can score. He can take a couple free kicks, score for England.
The winner. He will absolutely want to give his all, and he will clamp a player if need be. It's just a shame that he's sometimes a little bit clumsy and maybe sometimes not in the right place. But he'll hopefully, if Jose continues to bring the best out of him, by the time the Euro comes around, he'll be England's best centre back. I mean, realistically, if he gets his act together, he could be that beast. And next to him, we could have someone like John Stones or a back 3 with him. And there's some Villa centre backs that. We should start considering. I've always said that Ezri Konsa deserves an English shout, or Connor Cody. I feel like there's a lot of people say centre backs is our problem. We have a lot of options. We just have to get it right. Southgate has got to get it right.
It just depends on the formation because the problem is I don't necessarily always have an issue with 5 at the back. We played it against Sheffield United with 5-3 at the back, whatever you want to call it. But what I have the problem with Southgate is that it's 5 at the back with 2 defensive midfielders, and you're left with, considering now England have got Rashford, Sterling, Kane, Calvert-Lewin, Ings, Sancho, so many options going for Greenwood as well. We've got so many options going forward. but we instantly lose out on so much of that because we decide to play 5 at the back and normally Henderson, Rice, and Phillips as like our mid mid 3, which we did a couple of times, which is just that's not the way forward. And I don't think we'll do well in the competition if that's how we're going to play out. But
we're facing teams like Croatia again, who knows how we're gonna. We'll get to have a serious comparison of how we've improved since the Russian World Cup. We've got a much better team, much better, squad in terms of who we can play. So let's find out if we can make the most of them. Seriously, let's see if Southgate's the right man. I feel like if we have a bad Euros, he's going to be gone for the World Cup. We're getting someone else in.
I agree 100%. Like a lot of fans were saying, get someone in before the Euros, but there's nowhere near enough time to do that.
It won't happen because there aren't that many games for the new manager to, implement his system.
No, I agree. So
could you imagine if he has one important competition, gets us to a semi-final, best time we've done in ages, and then he doesn't get a single shot ever again?
True, very true. So do you?
I understand Nations League. He got us there for the first time round. Second time round, no. But we played Belgium. They're ranked the best FIFA World Cup team in the world. So yeah.
Okay, so then, do you think England can win the Euros, or let me put, who do you think will win the Euros then? If that's,
I think we can win it. No, I think we can win it, but we can't. Like we can if we get our tactics right, but I don't feel like we'll bring the best out of. Okay, well, it depends what he does with the system, right? Because if we are playing Phillips and Rice in a midfield too, when we've got a back 5, it's just stupid. It's
not going to work. Especially with the likes of France is probably the biggest threat, I'd say, for the Euros still, given the World Cup. I think France. I think their squad's still probably the best in Europe.
Would you say? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Belgium, they have a good manager. They've got Martinez, right?
Yeah,
and he's a really good manager. I think he's done a great job with them. He beat us twice in the last World Cup. They beat us recently to knock us out the Nations League. We beat them once, but they dominated, and then we dominated and they beat us. Tielemans, baller. We've seen how good he's been for Leicester. So yeah, I feel like overall, Belgium, France, England, and I don't know. Would you consider Holland?
Holland, but the thing is, Holland just seems to be one of those teams where they always seem to have a lot of ballers and then never quite perform in a major competition. So it's really hard to tell with them. It'd be interesting to see what Spain can do now. You've got the likes of Ferran Torres, obviously banged it for them.
Their actual squad is crap overall.
I know. Every time I see it on paper, it looks terrible, but they still manage to get results.
They're going to rely on Adam Traore.
Traore, what a beast playing the week quality for Spain. But
for Wolves recently,
I know he hasn't scored in the Prem since last January, a year ago now, isn't it? Mental.
The whole season without goal or assist so far.
All right, moving swiftly on. I want to ask you about your kind of like successes now, because obviously you're smashing it in terms of the live streams of, obviously not just in terms of views, but the actual like ability to do 3 or 4 a day on a weekend, and then just pretty much every single day, and then getting videos out on top of that, which obviously I know Josh helping out massively as well with me. But I think what would be interesting thing is why I know your dad, obviously Thogdad, being a big part of it. I know obviously he was in the vlogs previously in the matches, but what kind of made you decide to make him almost like a full-time addition to the channel, where it is like you and him every stream, every video now? What was that? What was your kind of reasoning behind that, and just why it worked out?
Well, I think it started off a while ago when I did the Bolton vlogs quite regularly, and they were doing really well. And the more I showed a Thogdad, the more people were like, oh yeah, get him involved. He seems a good lad. He seems a good character.
Kind of became a meme in a way.
Drink his beer, like it started off small things, just like he'd drive to the games. I'll flip the camera on him. I'll get his score prediction in. Like I named him Thogdad, all of that. I see the comment. And it all started at Bolton games where people were like, yeah, he's a funny guy. Get him in more. So I did. And then it all grew from there. He started to play a bigger role. We started to do I once suggested in the idea of let's rank some kits together, or let's do a Prem predictions together. And he loved it. He enjoyed it. He saw how the videos, grew and how people reacted to them. And he was like, yeah, this is a bit of me. So it went from there. And now we've never looked back. It's pretty good when you work with your dad, as you know, because if something isn't going right or something isn't going, one way, you can tell him straight. You can be like, Dad, this, Dad, that. Like, you don't have to cover it up. just because, you know, your family, you can be straight up to them. So you can get
honestly, I think my dad gets annoyed with me sometimes because if he comes up with an idea, I obviously love him getting involved, but if he comes up with an idea that's like not great, I'm like straight to like tell him it's like a terrible idea. I do feel bad sometimes, but you're right. It is a lot easier when it's family than maybe like a colleague.
That's so true. They want to help so much, and that's the beautiful thing. Yeah. And I've had the exact same situation where my dad suggested an idea, and I know it wouldn't do as well, but because it's you don't upset him, so it's like, how do you come across it? So look, is what it is.
My dad in the chat right now, Thogdad the GOAT. People asking for a Thogdad Big Mike collab. We're definitely gonna have to do something with that.
Definitely.
Forward.
I mean, mate, we were planning to, and then I remember we were in the stream and we were talking about this. I was in the comments and we were saying, like, I mean, it's such a shame that there's no more fans at games, because I'd probably be at a Tottenham game and Thogdad and Mike could have done a little beer review or something.
That would have been unreal because of the brewery in the Spurs ground as well.
Yeah, there is.
I'm going to be so sick just getting... Okay, that's definitely one for when fans can come back.
Definitely.
Looking more like next season, but if that happens, then 100%.
Hopefully starts with the Euros.
Hopefully. You know what? That's the one thing I would love to be like... I didn't manage to get... Sorry, I just put that there. Just, yeah, Dad's... Fair dues, Dad came up with Hit the Bar.
So did he?
Big Mike came. Big credit to him. He came up with the name.
That's class. So, I was going to say. That. So you've thought of that through, and Mike's taking it.
He's taking the credit. I've got to give him the credit. It's a great idea.
That is because it involves Mitchie, involves you.
Yeah.
YouTube. Brilliant.
It's perfect. We've got like visions of like when we can do this in person and have like a studio where you've got literally like a bar, you've got like a mini football section, and then like something to do with music as well. So you just cover all three grounds and just make it just as fun of a show as possible. But obviously, now we're limited to what we can do.
Cool.
So interesting. And then what about as well? I know I've got the little clip here, and I know you've spoken about it loads, but it's because I just want to ask personally because I've got like kind of my side of it. Rotashaw. Big dog mentioning you in a video, which I think I've got where is it? I think I've got a clip here somewhere.
Who is the best football YouTuber? You know what, mate? I'm partial to a bit of Thogden. I've been really getting into Thogden recently. Him and his dad going around. I think they're jokes.
So yeah, that was the clip that he mentioned you, which he did in like a little Q&A while he was in Hawaii. What the hell, man? Like, how must have, because that was it's well over a year ago now that happened. It was like a year, I think.
Yeah.
It was a year ago.
Yeah.
At the time,
it's mad.
What was going through your mind? Because
it was nuts. I didn't even know he knew me at the time because he didn't follow me. He does now on Twitter, which is awesome. But it's just, Roach he's massive. He's big time. And for him to recognize me was insane. And it's kind of when you do all this work and you gain all these subscribers, you kind of forget where you are. You just see the numbers. But you hear someone like Rotashaw say that, and it really hits home as to what you're doing is, makes people smile, makes people laugh, and it's all worthwhile because at the time we were going around Europe, but Bundesliga, different Prem games with my old man, making videos, bit of banter, Scotland, all that sort of content is what I really want to bring back to the channel because you get people like, he's the same, he's always in my streams as well. But yeah, you get people like Roadshaw who really appreciated it. So yeah.
So it's
a shame it's all streams now, isn't it?
I know, because you know what's actually a bit mental about that is I've got kind of like my own little story about that is that recently, so I work with now, or Calux, and our after party, and we set up a new sports brand and they like smashing it with the videos. We did part of the bus with like some.
I've seen the videos; they're great. I'm Alex.
Yeah, exactly. And then we've got Nico and Chunks is the finale this Thursday.
Cool.
So I was obviously there. I'm there as like an editor, cameraman, everything. I do a lot of things behind the scenes. But I was on the shoot there with Harry when he went up against Gibb. And I was just right at the beginning when he came on to set. I was just there, obviously, mask on, by the camera, just getting ready, everything sorted. And it's the first thing he just comes up to me and he's just like, "Oh, you made like one of my favorite videos of all time on YouTube," and that was the Ajax semi-final. And I knew that Calix told me about it before as well, saying that, oh, like Harry recognized me from that video.
That's
and
mad.
Yeah, he loved the Ajax vlog, and he thought it was like he particularly mentioned my my voice breaks and screams.
Yeah,
that
video was unreal.
Scored the winner. The fact that that's got like over 1 million views is actually
that's unreal.
But no, we stand with Harry. What a guy! I'd love to be able to do a video with him at some point. Hopefully, well, all of us really, if we can once we can get back to grounds and actually start going to games again, because that'll be
that's so sick though. I was gonna say like that video in itself was unreal. I remember how it was popping off.
I think that was like, for me, was a grind for that one, because obviously the game happened, the best feeling ever as a Spurs fan, and then obviously you want to celebrate the actual moment and the thing happening. Obviously we went to like the town with my family and like all the Spurs fans are there, but then I'm also sitting there thinking, I've got to get this video out as soon as possible because it's gone mental. So I actually stayed up the whole night to finish the video, got it done at 5:30 in the morning, uploaded it straight away as soon as it was done. Had to drive back to London an hour later. So I left and I was with my cousin. We drove back. That took us about 6 hours, I'd say. I think we got back to London at 12. I then had to get on a train at Euston to Manchester at 2 to get there in time for the FBAs that were happening in the Etihad, because that was literally like a day later. And then did the whole of that, and then stayed up the whole night with the FBAs as well. So I didn't sleep for like 48 hours after that, but it was worth it. 100% worth it.
That must have been a cracking couple of days, eh?
Mate, that was the
I miss
feeling.
the FBAs. Like, could you imagine if, it's great to win and all, but it's not the same. It's not the same when there's no one there.
No, I think, and it was annoying. It was going to be at the Spurs Stadium as well, and it would have had a cracking time. We would have been together. We would have gone out in London. We were just like,
would have been so good.
A laugh, man. And I think just watching it on that live stream was a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, congratulations to you, by the way, massively.
They picked Palace out of all the clubs. I'm joking, Palace fans.
Sending shade at the Palace fans. No, congratulations on the reward. But again, like obviously we were on that call together with some of the offsiders guys, just watching it, and it just obviously was not the same. What can you do? It's a tough time right now. I think I'm gonna. There's one thing I was gonna ask, but I'm gonna leave until Mitchell comes in, because I know that he was gonna. I think he wanted to ask about that in particular. But is there any sort of advice or anything, just to be very generic, that you would give to anyone wanting to get into like the football or even just the YouTube scene in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those questions that you ask a lot of people. I think for myself. Certainly. It was something that it was a passion from a very early age, because I watched YouTube growing up. I must have been watching YouTube from like 11 years old. I'm now 19. I've been, maybe 10, just really, and I watched it regularly. Instead of doing homework, I'd be watching YouTube videos. And it turns out that was my homework to success on YouTube. So it's kind of a weird mentality to have. I mean, if you understand the game, which I learned before I even started a YouTube channel, I feel like if you can revert that to being a footballer, I know everyone wants to be a footballer. Realistically, you have to look at it in a realistic fashion. How many make it? How many try? Everyone, so many kids, from as soon as they think about what they want to be when they're older, so many say footballer because they kick a ball around for a bit. And you've got to be realistic. Can you make it? I looked at YouTube and I thought, well, okay, I'm gonna do it for fun to start off with. And see how it goes, and I did, and people liked it, so I kept it up going, and then it got serious, and I was like, oh my god, people like this. So it's a weird one. I mean, if I was to give some simple advice, it would be do it because you enjoy it. Don't force it. If you force posting, you won't enjoy it. And even if the views come in and you do well, what's the point? I mean, the whole point is you enjoy it. The reason I do these streams is because me and my dad have a laugh, and you guys are there. And quite frankly, if there were no viewers there, we'd still be having a laugh watching the football. And that's the truth of it. So the fact we can make it into a stream is even better. And we always get loads of comments saying, like, we just love the banter between you and your dad. And that's the sort of stuff that really I appreciate. So do something because you enjoy it. Keep it up. Don't slack. Because if you do slack, then there's probably something you don't enjoy it. And it might not be for you. So find what you want to do. Find what you want to love. And it doesn't have to be YouTube. It doesn't have to be football. Just look wider in the bigger scale. There's so many things out there you can do. You've just got to click and find it, and just make sure you enjoy it.
That is perfect. That is perfect advice, to be fair. And a lot of it does sound cliche, but at the end of the day, it's cliche for a reason, because it's true.
That's so true.
You've got to enjoy it, because otherwise, especially on the YouTube scene, you will go absolutely mental if you're not enjoying it and you're trying to just
so true
down without it. And I think, like you said, people just enjoy watching you and your dad, because at the end of the day, most people tend to grow up supporting the team that dad does, and you're going to watch football with them anyway. And it's kind of like, I think people love that realness of the fact that, okay, I did this with my dad, they can relate, and then now they're watching you guys doing it and having lots of fun watching like every single match. It's just really enjoyable to see.
It's great, yeah.
I think Michel's going to be in. He said he was joining, but let's see what he's up to. That was a couple of minutes ago. But yes, not only do you guys enjoy football, but we know you love your bit of cricket.
Yeah,
you love cricket. I think if I got a little, what's it autograph? I think I got a picture of you. It was from your Instagram. There you go. Checking you out next to that trophy, winner from day.
There it is. That was a great win.
How comes like you and your dad? Is it just always been massive fans of cricket? Is he the one that got you into it, or what?
Yeah, my dad always wanted me to be into cricket. Like I feel like it's a very father-son thing. That you back in the day, you play for a cricket team. Your dad comes watch you play. Like all the dads are there. It's similar to football. I don't know if you guys watching this are into your cricket as well. I feel like if there's one sport other than football that's unbelievable, it's cricket. Like them two and tennis. I love tennis, but the problem with cricket and tennis is it's seasonal, right? Like it's mainly for the summer. You're not going to be out in the winter playing cricket. The season goes out a little bit and it's just horrible, right? You want to be somewhere hot doing it. So we go on holiday to Montenegro. We have been since we were kids, and
they've never had a cricket team. While as well, right? You were out in Montenegro for how long were you out there recently?
We go out there every summer because we got a house there.
Ah, okay.
And we just stay out there. Like my dad literally built it from a ruin, not with his own hands, as much as some people would like to believe because it's Thogdad. But no, he loved it. Hello.
Hey, listen, guys. Obviously, I had to make a late appearance. You know what I mean? Late arrival.
How are we doing?
How you doing, bro?
I'm good, man. Great to see you. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm great, man. I'm great. Literally, man. I'm just wrapping up a tune, obviously, for Tottenham and stuff. So, literally, I said, it's only right. It's only right, man. It's only right. We need some silverware this season, bro. We need some silverware.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll bust it out the whole summer if we win something major.
Whole summer. We were just talking about that. Like, yeah, a trophy and Champions League. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with
Really?
That. Yeah, the Carabao Cup and Champions League.
You take the Carabao Cup?
Yeah, I'll take that. If you get Champions League, I'll take the Carabao Cup.
We were saying that last time. I think Carabao Cup, as long as it's not just the Carabao Cup, as long as you at least get Europe as well, it's all right.
I think surely Spurs fans will take just the Carabao Cup.
No,
no
Europe.
No Europe.
Europa League. No.
Bro, we need something. What the hell?
Yeah, but come on. Silverware in itself, like...
Yeah, but there's a difference. FA Cup, different story. League Cup, we've had to play 3 games to get to the final. And if you're not getting at least Europa League with that, then that's not progress for me, to be honest with you. Because any team can get lucky in 3 games to like win it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because whereas I think FA Cup's something a bit different. You've got to grind for it. It lasts a bit longer. And
also, I genuinely believe that the Carabao Cup, like City have won it 3 years running, and it's the Pep Cup. They call it the Pep Cup for a reason. It's going to be a difficult final. Do you think fans might be able to go?
I hope so. They better have not pushed it back for no reason.
Yeah,
it's April. It's April, so I'm hopeful. But at this point, anything can happen, bro. It could get to April and they're like, okay, we're pushing it back till September. I'm like, okay.
No, surely not. I know you're what's it, Theo? I was speaking to your twin, James Trafford.
Oh, no way, that's it.
I told George Achillea, he said your twin.
Well, your twin banged it yesterday.
Listen, that's my guy. I was on the phone to him last night. That's my twin.
Bale did a madness.
Oh, what a goal.
Unbelievable finish, bro. Unbelievable.
Dombola. That's what he's calling him.
Yeah, I've called him that before. What a guy. Honestly, that strike. Did he mean? I mean,
100%.
So many questions.
100%. Not having it.
It's
next
nuts.
level.
This guy's a legend. He said, "Did he mean? Do you think he meant that?"
Yeah, that's what runs through your head when you see that goal. It's just like, it's so good. How can you try that?
No, it's true. That is true. I think just the way he played. I've been a fan. Obviously, there was some periods where people were a bit 50-50, but I just feel like he's really shining through. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so true.
I'm happy to see it, man. I'm happy to see it.
You know what? This is to be fair. This is a perfect time this is a little graphic here. Football opinion. Since we're getting onto that already, little segment because we've got a few questions around that. But we started off pretty well with talking about Ndombele's skill and his ability. Baller, boy. But the one major thing I wanted to ask you, Theo, and I think would be a good, interesting discussion between us. What's your opinion on Jose Mourinho and his talent?
Jose Mourinho, I think he's class. I think he's someone that was the perfect appointment for Spurs. I remember the first year you brought him in, there were Spurs fans. I played football with some Spurs fans, and this was obviously before the COVID stuff. And they were saying after a few weeks in, no, Jose out, like get him run. You went on a bad run when he first signed. And I knew Spurs fans that didn't even want him near the club. But I basically told them, and it's the same thing I say today, keep the faith, believe in him, because the guy's got history. And when he gets the signings he wants, the results will come in. And I think that's similar to what we're seeing this season. He's definitely brought in made some great signings. I know Bale hasn't worked out like what we'd wanted, but I think the boost it brought to the fans and mentality has been great. Reguilon, unreal.
What a baller. He's quickly becoming one of my favourite players at Spurs. He's unreal.
He's a baller.
I think he's so good. Doherty didn't really work out, but maybe he'll give it time. What do you think about that one?
Doherty for me has not been it, man. But what I love about the signing of Doherty is that it's made Aurier 10 times better. 10 times better.
That's so true.
Yeah,
he's made one major mistake against Leicester where he pushed him over for the penalty, which was ridiculous. Where you'd think you'd do that every single game, but credit where credit's due. He's been unbelievable this season. For the most part.
And the main one is Højbjerg.
We were talking about this last week. I literally said that is my guy. He is my guy. Like, no,
best Pierre in North London.
He'll put himself on the line for the team.
Pierre in North London.
Yeah, he'll put himself on the line for the team. And like, I've always believed that Tottenham just needed players like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so true.
And even going back to the point about Bell, I just think, obviously, I think for marketing, I think they might have maybe figured by now we'd be allowed back in the stadium and ticket sales and the shirt sales would have been through the roof. But it just has on both perspectives, like either marketing and on the field, it hasn't gone to plan. We would have hoped to get prime Bell, for maybe even just like for about 6 months,
But, true. What's the situation with Bale? What do you think is going to happen?
Well,
I don't want him to go back.
He can go back to Real Madrid and not play football. Or
I don't know if you saw that. That clip.
That Jose was saying.
So Spurs released like a 5-minute compilation of just like training, and what people noticed was that there was a clip like when they were just showing the goalkeepers doing their training. You can actually hear Jose in the background, and some people were saying it's to Reguilon, but that makes no sense because we've bought him now. Yeah, he was basically saying to a player, do you want to stay and play, or do you want to go back to Real Madrid?
I got Scorch here.
Oh, we've got another guest. What's happening?
Spurs. Now we got the mad thing. Make sure you go onto a man's podcast, AC Gaffers. You're gonna see the big dog on there with man.
Come on, Magic.
Let's go. We're gonna get you on ASAP, bro.
Always working, guys. We're always working.
Always working. Scorching, but that'll be one soon, guys. Make sure to stick around and subscribe.
That'll be one
notifications. Soon. Plenty of guests coming on. But I think for me, Mourinho is the guy. Like he's still like I saw many people wanted him out just because of the Fulham result and all other results. But we're in a final. We could get Europa League. We could win that. Like we could still get top 4. It's so close this year. I think we just got to faith, see where we're at the end of the season, and then we can make like a proper judgment.
So, with the situation with Bale, I feel like if Son and Kane were to get injured, I think he'd start to really impress. Because it's like in a front three for Spurs, you usually play him with like a man who will help create, like Bergwijn, who will always set up or make a run that creates space for Son or Kane to really take make the chance happen. But I feel like if you put Bale there, there's too many finishes. There's too many. You need that one man who's going to create space for Kane and Son, or it just won't work. And that's probably part of the reason that he picks Bergwijn over going for someone like Bale. That's just what I think. If Son or Kane was injured, they could be the main man and they could run the show.
I almost think he's like too afraid in a way because anytime he has played, especially in the Europa League, he doesn't seem to want to take someone on as much as he used to. But I don't know if that's just because of all his injuries. He's kind of been a bit more reserved, and then he got injured again. And I think he's going to be in the Europa League team. Like I think he'll be one of the first players on the sheet when that comes back in a couple of weeks. But it's just, I think every fan just wants to see him have a run out in the Prem. Because like we signed Bale back, yet he still can't even feature against Sheffield United. And Fulham, and it's just a bit.
That's part of Jose's way.
No, it's true. It's
the tough luck last season.
Yeah, massively. It's a shame that you know what? That's transitioned perfectly to the next bit. It works perfectly with Ndombele. It's hopefully going to work with Bale if we do keep him for another year. But what has happened to Dele Alli and the fact that he's probably on his way to PSG on a loan this month?
Seriously?
Do you think he'll thrive there? Do you think he'll thrive at PSG?
I think he will, I think he's the saucy dons, him, Mbappe, Neymar. I think Moise Kean. To be fair, he's been banging it recently. Moise Kean.
He's been smashing it. Yeah. You know what, with Dele Alli, I think he's got a real player in him. And I think if he wants to become the top level that he was before, getting away from London, getting away from just it being in a completely different environment, maybe not even speaking that much of the language, is exactly what the guy needs.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he feels too at home at Spurs. He kind of gets away with it. He's on a good wage. He's living well. He's got his friends around him. He needs to be thrown in the deep end into Paris, get some proper coaching from the PSG lads, and just seriously get back to where he was before. And I think that's a great move. If it does happen, you know,
because he'll
reach again, you know what Poch did to him.
Exactly. He could do it again. And I think that's, for me, like you said, it's very much the case of he's just too comfortable now. He smashed it for a couple, like three seasons, and then kind of just got a bit too comfortable, maybe feeling a bit too big for his boots, and maybe feel like he doesn't need to try. And honestly, I thought Jose was going to be the man to bring it back out of him. It seemed like the part, because Dele Alli was at his best when he was being a bastard. Like when he was like being like properly playing like with aggression and hunger. And I genuinely thought Mourinho
he doesn't have that hunger anymore.
No, and exactly, and he still doesn't. It almost seems like Jose's fed up with him as well, like not finding the hunger again.
But
so
even watching the Amazon thing last, like you could tell, like he's been having those kind of talks with him where it's like, like, you need to, you know what I mean? You have potential there. I watched you when you were at MK. Like I've watched, so I know that you can play, but I can't see it in you.
Yeah.
Oh, he just did that quick. I don't know. He might have accidentally closed. He'll be back in a sec. But
but he's got a point. Absolutely. Yeah. I think Dele Alli can turn into the player that he was before.
And I'm hoping, for me as a Spurs fan, I don't want us to sell him at all. There we go.
Yeah.
Back in there. He's back.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I was just saying, so he knows the potential and what he's seen of Dele, but he just feels like it's not coming out. And I don't know what conversations have been said behind the scenes, you know, after that, but who knows?
For sure. 100%, man. And I'm hoping if we alone for 6 months, hopefully does him good, bring him back. We could get Eriksen on loan from Inter for the rest of the season to kind of fill that space. A lot of fans not happy. Some of them think
I was gonna
creativity. I'm not convinced, because he was similar to Dele in the sense that he kind of just almost gave up on Spurs, didn't want to play. So why would we then want to loan him back? Like, is he going to have that hunger again as well? Which is a bit strange. I don't know what you make of that, Theo, whether you think Eriksen's going to be a good for Spurs again.
I think going for someone new would be better. The wages, he's still expensive.
7.5 million a year, I think it is. And they want us to pay full wages again.
And if he's seriously going to be like he was in the latter stage of his career, he's not shown the last few years that he's ever going to get back to what he was before. I know loads of Spurs fans remember his good days and they forget about the bad ones, because when someone leaves, you only think about the good times, not the bad times. Yeah. That's the truth. And that's why a lot of Spurs fans are now going on Twitter being like, bring back the King Eriksen. For me, you should be going out and get someone like Sabitzer. I've watched him at Leipzig. He's on form. He's a leader. He's a midfielder. He's a beast. He could play in so many different positions. He can score goals. Instead of Eriksen, who's getting on a big wage, you might get something good out of him, but not for that long. There's better fish in the sea.
I love that, man. I love that. All right, I think because I know you're pushed for time because you're going to be doing the Arsenal game, right? You're streaming that.
Yeah.
So I just think we've got to, just while you're here, just a quick little segment. Where's the next thing? All right, Instagram questions. Yes. I put it on my story just to find out. So maybe Arsenal, we've got a few, so I'm just going to read them out now. Cool. One person saying, "Wait, have you been to the Tottenham Stadium yet?"
Yeah.
Okay. What do you make the atmosphere comparison? White Hart Lane or Tottenham Hotspur? Did you get to go to White Hart Lane as well?
Yeah.
What comparison? What would you think is the big difference between the two? Or which do you prefer?
It's difficult, right? I remember I've got some good memories from going to Bolton, Tottenham, and the old one and stuff like that. I remember, who was it? You had a midfielder who scored an absolute banger. Who scored all the long shots back in the day for Spurs from the midfield?
Well, Huddleston.
Yeah, Huddleston.
Huddleston, what guy?
Yeah,
Huddleston's my guy, bro.
He scored a banger, an absolute banger against Bolton. And I remember the atmosphere there. Like all the fans were so near to each other. It was proper. I do actually miss your old ground sometimes because it was really good atmosphere.
It was quite intimate.
Yeah, it was. And there was definitely a lot of games where you would have got results because of the fans. And you did have, that's just how it was. It was a scary place to go. And I feel like the new ground is obviously, there's loads of money that's gone into it. I really like the South Stand. I think there's loads of noise that comes from that. It's beautiful. The new ground is one of the most beautiful grounds in the world. It makes good noise. So, yeah, it ticks all the boxes for me. I can't really think of much that goes wrong. I feel maybe at the top of the north stand, it's a little bit dead. There's parts of the ground where you probably wouldn't want to be.
Yeah.
You know, if you're just an armchair fan and you just go there to watch the game, enjoy the football, I get it. And I still think it creates a good noise. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think the acoustics in it are good. It's just sometimes there have been some games where it's just people would just fall flat and dead, and maybe it just naturally tends to happen when you go into a massive stadium like 62,000 seater. There are going to be fans there that aren't necessarily going to chant all the time. And then I remember this whole kerfuffle right at the start. This was like our opening Champions League game, Man City at home. Normally, you used to like these big games, you're standing the whole game, you're getting buzzed into it. Me and my cousins were all like standing, like especially when we had a corner, like an attacking corner right in front of us. And we had stewards, and not even stewards, our own fans just telling us to sit down. And then, like,
I was at the game. I remember
it, in the theatre. And it's just like, we're an attack in the Champions League in our brand new stadium. And you want to sit down and eat your popcorn.
They wouldn't even be able to see you because it was just how the way the ground was designed. Everyone was so near.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's just become more modernised, and there's got negatives and positives of that. But I tell you what, that game was unbelievable. By the way, the one you're mentioning, that was still, when Aguero, Lloris saved the pen.
Lloris saved the pen, and they wanted to get another pen from it as well.
Stadium erupted.
I'll be honest, Neil's answer was just so politically correct. He said, you know, there's good things and bad. Like, it's almost the perfect answer. Do you know what I mean? It was
I appreciate that.
It was, I like it, but I don't like it, but I don't like it, but I do. Like, it's the perfect answer.
That's the way you got to look at it. Yeah, I mean, there's honestly, my favorite grounds are the real retro ones because they're the ones that make the noise. And as much as it isn't perfect to look at, you want teams to come to you and be scared. You know what I mean?
Okay, that goes on to the next one then here from Ceres Doherty. Best ground, this is for both of you guys as well. Best ground looks-wise and best ground atmosphere-wise that you've been to. What are you guys saying?
Interesting. The best...
I think for me...
Wait, does Wembley count? Does Wembley count?
Yeah. Any stadium. Yeah, if you can say Wembley if you want. Bit of a cop-out answer, though. I think
what was that? Best ground you've been to and one with the best atmosphere?
So one that you think's had the best atmosphere and one you think's the best looking, like the best designed stadium. I think for me, just like while you guys thinking the best looking one, that's obviously not the Spurs one, just to choose a different one. Apart from the colour, because obviously we don't like red, I think the Allianz for Bayern Munich Stadium, the outside is visually unreal. Just the light panels surrounding the whole thing.
Yeah, so aesthetically, I get what you mean, yeah.
But I just preferably not red, ideally. And then I think atmosphere-wise, for me, it's been the Ajax semi-final. I'm talking about home fans. Their home fans were unreal. And Dortmund. I got to always mention Dortmund. Like those two were like the best
I went to the Dortmund PSG first Champions League leg where Haaland basically made a name for himself around the world and scored 2 bangers. That was the best atmosphere ever. Like the yellow wall was incredible. So add to Dortmund, I agree.
And what about best looking? Something that one you think is the best looking stadium?
Again, Dortmund's ground is just beautiful. Like in terms of it's exactly what it should be for fans. You know, that's what stadiums have based themselves on.
Because atmosphere-wise, I'd love to go Anfield. I'd love to go like atmosphere-wise.
Yeah,
I've always heard things about Anfield.
I've been to it. I think for me it lasts like the first 15 minutes. I think it's a little bit overhyped in general. Like, it's great. They do that with You Never Walk Alone, and it's amazing at the start, and then it just kind of gets back to like reality. Really,
it's great at the start, but then you can hear a pin drop. You know, it's true. Like I was quite surprised. You know, there are some good fans, and then it kind of dies out.
All right, then. Who do you think this is from Madison 2005 _, who will win the Golden Boot this season? Because it's tight at the moment. I think Bruno's top with 13. Salah's top with 13, and Son and Kane are second with 12. And I believe Bruno's on like 10 or something like that. There's quite a few players in the mix. Calvert-Lewin. Who do you think is going to get the final Golden Boot by the end of the season?
It's tough, isn't it?
Close call right now. It's the same with top 4.
Everyone's just the clock's ticking, you know. The clock's ticking.
He's
Talk me into saying Kyungmin's son.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy with that.
I mean, the thing is, he is the goal scorer, and if Spurs keep it up, then of course he can do it.
Yeah. And I think Kane's on track to break the assist record.
Oh yeah, this is what I'm going to say. if it was all over like contributions, Kane every day of the week.
All day long, because he's the guy, especially those two in general. Whether they've halfway through the season and they've already beaten or at least tied the record for the most amount of assists to each other in one season. And
but I think overall, I'm gonna have to go Salah for goals. I just think he'll get enough penalties to get to sneak ahead of Son.
I can't believe you're doing that to us. I can't believe you're doing that to us.
I've still given you Kane contributions though, so you should be pretty happy with that.
That's him trying to wriggle his way out now. He's trying to wriggle his way out.
I could have said Bruno. I mean, I don't know how you'd feel about that.
That's a bit worse.
No, he gave us what we wanted to hear, man. He gave us what we wanted.
Bruno Fernandes taking it for the win, you know.
Wow.
Who do you think right now from Ollie Burgess is the best striker in the world? Best striker.
Kane or Lewandowski?
Oh, of course he's going to say that.
What do you think?
You want to choose Lewandowski, don't you? Because I mean, I don't blame you. He smashed it with the Champions League,
but this season you have to go Kane.
I'm hearing Kane Ballon d'Or. Kane Ballon d'Or talks. Anyone? I don't know about you.
Wait,
maybe next year.
If we win the league, Europa League, who knows?
The league next year.
If England win the Euros, you never know.
Yeah, maybe. I'll tell you what. I mean, he's done everything he's had to do right this year in the Prem, Russia World Cup, won the Golden Boot. What more can you ask from him?
That's true. Very true.
Okay, maybe he should have turned up in the Champions League final. I mean,
I was hoping no one would mention that, but now there you go. Thanks, Theo. Thanks for saying. Thanks.
Yeah. Come back from an injury. We all know what Kane's like. When the first stages of come back from an injury, he's a little bit doesn't always go into 50-50s and stuff like that. He's a little bit more scared. But when he's in his prime, he's the best striker in the world. And my dad would always say that as well.
Ooh, I like that statement. I like that statement right there. I like it. I like it.
Big statement.
What do you think, Ricky?
Oh, God.
Yeah, but I'm always gonna say. I'm always gonna say, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna root for the guys from my team.
Yeah.
That level, and what you have to remember as well, as Tottenham fans, especially, I feel like I don't know. I think George can relate to this as well. We've grown up and we weren't always the pick of the litter. Do you know what I mean? We weren't the pick of the litter. So now we're talking like world level, accolades, and our players are in there. You better believe I'm going to be biased. There's a reason to be biased. I'm going to be.
Why
biased.
not? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get
like you said, like Kane's proven himself. He's done what he needed to do. So if you ask me, I'm going to tell you Kane. I'm
Kane all day long.
Do you know what I mean?
I get that.
I think it would definitely help if we win something major.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's where my bias comes from. My bias always comes from a place of pain and childhood trauma of just watching us lose all the time. You know what I mean? That's where it comes from.
All right, big question then. Who, and I need an answer, who's going to win the league this year? Who do you think is going to win the league this year? All honestly, no, don't say Spurs.
Good luck, Theo. Good luck, man. Good luck with you. Like, honestly, good luck.
Oh man, I'm rooting towards Man City.
A lot of people have said Man City recently. They are in form right now,
and also
conceding.
Best form in the league is Pep. He knows how to win it.
Yes,
he's got such an easy run now, and he's also got a defense that's just clicking. I can't see anyone in the big games. It's City who you would usually root for. They beat United recently was that the Carabao Cup game?
That was Carabao Cup one.
And you saw the way they beat a big team like United, who are in a Prem title. They're in the contention, and you just thought, okay, they've beaten them like that. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to go Man City. Yeah, for me. What do you guys think?
Oh, I don't want to. I think Spurs are still in with this.
Yeah, George, represent. I was gonna say represent, bro. Represent.
No, I've. You know what? I said Man City before the season started. Obviously, no one
really.
How close it was.
That's good. That's impressive.
But I've got to back Spurs. I think hopefully just Mourinho, just the stats are there to say, like, he's won the league with every single team he's been at in the second season, apart from United. And he only came second with that United team to the Centurions, which is like a ridiculous statement.
Yeah, definitely.
So obviously we've drawn so many games. We've only lost 2, but we've drawn so many. And normally you'd say the team can't win the league with drawing that many. But look at Liverpool. Look at even United at the start of the season. Man City at the start of the season. Everyone's been slipping up. So I'm going to stay. We're still within a shout to win it. Got to.
Theo, do you think we have a fair chance of winning the league?
Legit. Don't just say yes because you're here, but like, do you actually genuinely think
this year you have a chance, but like I can't see it happening. I think it's either Liverpool or City for me.
Damn. Okay. No United then. You don't think United are going to come through with the win under Ole?
I think they're in contention, but I mean, if you ask me to say one, I can't. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, I want to ask. This could be a quick answer for both of you guys. One underrated and one overrated manager for this season. Who do you think's like in a way overperforming, but doing really well that people aren't necessarily talking about, and another one that you think could be getting a sack soon, or you don't think like deserves the plaudits that they might be getting? What two managers you're saying for that? It's a tough question.
It is tough.
I mean, I'll take it all day long, but tough for you because you got to be a bit more neutral.
Yeah, exactly.
Underrated. I think I have to say someone like Dean Smith. He's done a really good job with Villa this year. And I think overrated, it's a tough question. You look at the Prem table and, you know, all the big teams apart from Arsenal who don't have a great team anymore. They all have managers that you have to say they're doing a job. Arteta doesn't have a team in him. So I said Dean Smith for Villa. And then, and for overrated, I can't, no one springs to mind because Arteta, you can't blame him. Team's not that good. In terms of fighting for, I don't know. It's so tough. It really is. What would have you got any ideas, Mitchie?
As in underrated
or
both,
overrated?
Really.
Or someone who's not performing to their standard.
Yeah,
I've got one I can say straight off the bat. Actually, I've got a couple to be fair. I've got two I
can't even think off the top, you know. George, help me. I can't think off the top, George. Help me out.
I've always said Lampard's a fraud. Frank Lampard. Here we go. Risky. And I think the reason why I say is because he spent 250 million in one season.
Oh, you don't. Yeah, you're adding.
He's the next Messiah, and I'm not being funny. You cannot spend no matter who you are, you cannot spend 250 million and not be performing to the highest standard in this season. And I think maybe in 10 years' time, I think Jamie Carragher said this, but I agree with him. I think in 10 years' time, he could be a good manager. But right now, I think he is just. I think there's a lot of rumors that a couple of players at the Chelsea background are saying that he doesn't really know what he's doing. A couple of players he might have fallen out with. So
I've heard similar things. I think Lampard's days may be numbered, but
For
me personally, I think he obviously got the job off of his merit and who he is for Chelsea.
His brand at the club, his brand at the club is what's basically keeping him up. Because I thought one of you guys would say Arteta, if I'm being honest. I thought someone would say Arteta, if in my, you know what I mean? As far as
I would have done, but then again, the players at Arsenal are like crap.
What are the comments saying?
This is the one that I think was the other one I was going to say. From where was it? Here and saying Nuno at Wolves overrated this season.
Yeah, but it's harsh to a man that lost their only striker.
Yeah, but it's
Wolves. I'd say even before Jimenez, I don't think Wolves.
Look at how Jose struggled when Kane was injured and Son. I mean, if you don't have your best players, you're not. I mean, it's just like it's not fair. Raul Jimenez is one of the most underrated footballers in the Prem, and he's. I mean, very reliant on him, but he's unreal. And and now he's injured and he's out for a while. And until they sign a striker and don't have to force an 18-year-old playing striker, it's not fair to say that Nuno's overrated for me.
Okay, I think this is a big one that could actually be a bigger debate, which obviously we won't necessarily go too deep into. But Daniel Rolfdor saying Bielsa's overrated because we all know everyone loves talking about Leeds pretty football, but they have lost 3 games in a row now, losing out to Crawley, and I don't think they've scored in those 3 games either. If I'm not mistaken, losing to us 3-0, lost to Crawley 2-0, 3-0 in the end. I think that one as well.
Of course they're overrated. Have you not seen the comments how they talk about Leeds? Of course they're overrated. For them to be getting that much praise? Of course they're overrated.
They'll be praising the football when they get battered every week so far. So that's...
they can lose 5-0, but it's like, hey, did you see the beautiful football they were playing? The 1-touch, 2-touch football, like amazing. You know what I mean?
I think Bielsa is. I think he's a good manager. I think I wouldn't say if he keeps them up. I think you can't really say he does get enough wins. He went to, but I swear they. Recently they lost 1-0 to Brighton. That was a really poor result, and they lost 3-0 to Crawley. That was terrible. But they do get some big wins here and there, and it will if they do stay up. I can't call Bielsa overrated. They've come into this league with a team. Oh, I love that comment from Love that. But I think the team that come into the league and they stay up, I think it's fair. But I do understand your point with commentators, the way they talk about them.
Yeah. I think it's getting a bit much sometimes because
definitely.
It always seems to be like fair enough if they're winning games or even if they're they're close. But there are sometimes like I think genuinely in the Spurs ones, like we pretty much dominated that game for the most, like tactically and everything, and yet they were still getting praised for how they played and all this, and the talk was all about them. So I think they're overrated in that sense.
Definitely.
Chris Wilder overrated, obviously, in a way. Like you could say he was unbelievable last year in what he did to Sheffield United, and then now one win and what was it 2 draws so far.
But he did take them from like League One to the Prem. That's the problem.
Exactly. I think their problem is they didn't get backed with Premier League players. Any signings they made were not a Premier League standard player. And if you're a team trying to stay up, which is their main priority, no matter how well they did last year, you can't. Same with West Brom. They just bought Championship players, which, okay, you can find some hidden gems, but they didn't buy like a single Premier League proven player.
Do you like Roden?
I love Roden. I love the look of Roden so far with the game he's played. I think he did really well yesterday against Sheffield United. I think he's a quality player. What do you think, Mitch?
I think most players...
like I said, I agree with you. I think he's a good player.
Yeah, cool.
He definitely deserves to start ahead of Sanchez for me. I think he deserves way more.
I agree.
Seriously?
Yeah, I think we could see him being a back 3 against Liverpool because I think we played a back 5 against them away. And now that we did well against Sheffield with it, I've got a feeling it could be like him, the Rodon, Dyer, and
Reguilon have some leeway going forward.
Yeah, because he looks so... His ball was into
makes
the
sense.
box.
I'm not going to... It does make sense.
It could be a tasty little thing. And Tanganga's a classy young player. Little comment from Tapsy here as well, saying that. So I think we're looking okay. It's just we need to find some consistency with our centre backs because Sanchez for me can be a bit of a bit of a miss sometimes.
He's been kind of the one where it's like people are a bit 50-50 on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even just George Day doesn't sound too short. So it's like. You know what I'm trying to say. Do you know what I mean?
He had all the prospect when we bought him, but he's. I feel like he's still at that point of he's just a really good prospect, and it's like it's been 3 years now since we bought him. So when's that prospect going to become reality? I know you've got. I know you've got to go soon, but I want to ask you kind of like one big question to kind of finish it off for you on this live stream. Live streams smashing it now, daily content. When it comes to us being allowed back at the stadiums and we're going back again, how do you see your channel adapting? And what do you think you are going to do going forward, especially with you and Thogdad? When we can
I'm not really. Yeah, it's a difficult one. I've not really planned it. I just whatever happens in terms of I want to go back to Bolton games. I want to go back to that. I'll probably be vlogging them like I was before. Whether that will be on the Thogden channel at the time, I don't know. I'd like to. There's certain ideas where I can maybe focus on Premier League on the Thogden channel.
Yeah.
And move Bolton stuff over to Thogdad because I still want to support Bolton Wanderers. That's my team. That's still the club. I go to games with my dad and enjoy it, right? And still make content around that. Either way, I'll be returning to that. But, you know, I don't know. It's going to be very difficult to get back to Prem games and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. I think because as well, they're going to probably ease fans back in. So it's more likely the case that you'll only be able to go to your team's home games.
Yeah, exactly. They're definitely not going to let everyone in and open the floodgates. Just no way.
So could we be expecting some Bolton vlogs at home maybe and then sprinkle in some live streams when they're not playing? Is that kind of maybe a plan going forward?
Yeah. That's what we want to hear, bro. That's what
cool, man. That's what we'll go for.
I definitely want to be able to go. I want to go to a Bolton game with you at some point. I want to experience.
I reckon he's a real laugh. I reckon he's proper passionate as well. Like I've seen.
They're so passionate, man.
So passionate.
Because especially, I mean, obviously Bolton have been through the ringer the past couple years with everything going on with the club and nearly going into administration and then all the stuff surrounding that and having to. What did you just have to buy or use loads of your youth players? Just because
there was loads of stories with Bolton a couple of years ago, like mad, like you said, going into administration. But we used to hear like crazy stories about Bolton. So I remember when I first found out Dele was like I said a couple of years back when I found out that Dele was even supporting Bolton. I said, "Whoa, that's from that's real. Like it's real."
Yeah, of course. You got to stick to the family team. I went to Bolton games since I was young. I grew up in Manchester, so it was just like that.
Yeah,
could have been so easy to go for United or
all my mates at school were United or Everton or City at the time. There weren't that many. There were barely any Liverpools. Maybe actually a couple of Liverpools, but there weren't that many.
Yeah,
they were still like top 5 at the time, but they were nothing they are today.
Do you think what the situation would have been for you if Bolton did actually, like, in a way, cease to exist? Do you think you would? Is it another team you support? Or is it just more you're going to be like a football fan?
Usually, what happens when that happens is like they create a non-league team, and Bolton just go from really low divisions, and I'd probably just back them again. It's just it's just how it is. It's never going to
be like fan bought, right? Like normally, I think the fans tend. That kind of happen. I know Portsmouth used to be one like that, but I know fans tend to maybe buy the club. Like maybe we could see Theo buying Bolton in a couple of years' time if it doesn't work out.
We'll be like, yo, we had the owner of Bolton on the show. Like,
yeah, exactly. That'd be
hashtag United in the FA Cup. You never know.
Why not?
It could happen.
Why not?
That would be unreal, mate. I just want to say I expect the number 11 jersey. I'll be there. I'll be in the left wing if you need me in your team going forward in the future.
Sounds good. Need a bit of pace on the wing.
Well, okay, maybe not anymore. Maybe it used to be a bit of pace. Kieran, thank you for the £2 dono. Most underrated fans in the Prem. All right, we'll keep it short and sweet because I know you want to go. Or if you want to leave, by the way, don't feel like you have to stay. I know you've got your stream.
No worries. Yeah, I'll answer this because I probably have to go pretty soon. I'm gonna say most underrated. I think Villa have a good fan base and they haven't been able to show that yet. I think there's a lot of the top set. I think Spurs at home create good amount of noise. Away from home, you've got your proper fans, you know. Yeah, you got to respect them. And then you got to look to, like, I always think Sheffield United at home, they had such a good impact on them last year, and then they lost their fans and their form turned rubbish. So there's three off the top of my head who I'd give respect to.
Fair play. I think I agree with you for Villa because when I went to the away one where we nicked it at the end last year with Sonny, and that was actually the last away game I went to, I think, in the Premier League. Yeah, because the last actual away game was RB Leipzig. Because it's the day that I came back at like 6 and
you saw Werner in McDonald's.
Oh, mate, that was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. Obviously, this guy
he loves a takeaway. German dog kebab. He's ordering that in London. Have you seen the video?
I've seen the video. Nobody's not banging it for Chelsea if he's getting
that's a good takeaway for delivery, man.
He's probably, what was that? The Fulham game when he was like under the goal and missed that sitter. Maybe he just heard someone say Deliveroo. Sorry, what?
Yeah, exactly. Probably.
Honestly, that was a weird thing, man. Just not just like the Champions League. We're depressed, eating my chicken legend and all this and the other, and then he just rocks up with his girlfriend ordering some Big Mac and whatever, and I'm like. What is going on?
Insane. It's Leipzig. He doesn't really. I don't know. It's not a massive place, is it? I've been there. It's not huge.
True. Yeah. It's a pretty new. Obviously, the football team kind of helped with the development of the town. The town itself is tiny. There's like not really much there at all. So you're right. Maybe he just didn't have nothing to do. Probably said that. We're not playing for another few days. Cheeky celebrate the win. Why not?
It's a cool ground, though.
Yeah. It is a pretty cool ground, to be fair. It's kind of like in the ground almost.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. It's like a hill up and then it's inwards.
Yeah, which I like. They put the toilets kind of outside at the top, so that was a pain because you had to climb up the stairs, back up the hill, get to the toilet. But no, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. Like obviously longer than you said you needed to because I know you got a big stream ahead. So man, I really appreciate it. And no doubt we'll get you on again.
No, Theo, thanks for coming on, man. Honestly, it's been a blast.
No worries, I appreciate that. Nice to be the first guest.
Yeah, big one. Smashed it.
Yeah, I'll take that. It's a pleasure. No, thank you for having me on, and best of luck with the rest of the show.
No, I appreciate it, man. We'll definitely, if anyone watching, we'll clip some of these up, just some of the interesting stories and whatnot, so you can watch it as full videos throughout the week until the one next week. And yeah, man, really appreciate it. And obviously,
love that.
The link's in the description, so anyone that's watching, I mean, you're probably subscribed already, but do subscribe if you haven't, for whatever reason. But yeah, man, good luck with the stream, and we shall see you in a bit. Mitchie, we can carry on and talk Spurs if you want, if you can, while Theo's going. But yeah, man.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one, yeah?
See you later. You too.
Cheers, Theo.
Appreciate it.
My guy.
Boss man.
Massive boss man. Can I take your order?
Yeah. Like my dad on the streams with the headset, like McDonald's. Maybe Werner heard you, so he might. But yeah, man, how was your sesh with Scorch?
No, it was sick, man. It was sick, literally. Like, you know, obviously he's a Spurs fan as well, so it only just made sense. You know, we got together and just created a banger because, yeah, man, that's sounding crazy. That's sounding very, very crazy. So, you know, he's gonna come on as well. He's gonna come on the show as well at some point. So it only makes sense. You know, I gave him a little. You know, he got a little cameo inside as well.
Of course. Yeah, once that banger's released, we'll definitely get him on.
No,
ASAP.
100%.
So we can play it, listen to it as well. But bro,
he's a proper like passionate, like not even just Spurs, but he's a proper passionate football fan as well. So like, even just in like when we're talking, it's like you can tell like he loves the game. You know what I mean?
That's good, man.
So proper sick guy.
Because you don't really see that with a lot of too many like grime artists or just artists in general. Really, you don't really see them too like on their socials or whatever too passionate about it. So it'll be actually really interesting.
Scotch ain't grime though. I say
no. I'm just saying. I was just saying like in general. I know he's not. I'm saying in general. In general,
in the grand scheme of things, yeah.
Yeah, like you never like when you got they're probably not that into football. You got the likes of like Jamie and like Skepta and that are from Tottenham.
Yeah.
But you never hear anything from them about it.
Yeah.
Like you got these artists where they don't. I think what kind of artists like properly actually like Big Zoo. I know he's on with Liverpool.
Like AJ as well with Tottenham.
AJ's a big one to be fair.
AJ's a big one. Then you've got I'd say kind of H and Stormzy. They kind of push the Man U stuff as well. Artist wise,
apart from AJ, we haven't got anyone else that well, obviously we've got Scorcher, but you don't normally see.
Yeah, and of course,
Spurs represent man.
Spurs representatives. Yeah, I think it's AJ, me, and Scorch. Really,
I'll be gassed. Oh,
yeah.
At some point we should get all three of you on, and I'll just be sitting here, the one white guy that can't rap, just like soaking it all in.
Yeah, over that, it's just us three. Yeah, for the Tottenham thing, yeah, it's just us three, really. Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, you're gonna blow up soon anyway, bro. So we're gonna see that soon.
Come on, bro.
Oh God, we won a game.
Hey, listen, I want to say this here because everyone on my Insta has been getting us with bro. Scout. When I do predictions, we lose, bro. Like, honestly, you think I'm joking? I'm telling you, bro. Like, next match we have here, watch me. I'm gonna be like, yo, guys, predictions for tonight or today, and then watch what the score is. I guarantee you, I might stop doing predictions, bro.
I beg you, I please. Okay, if you're gonna experiment with that, do that with the Wickham game. Please do not do predictions for Liverpool. Listen, that is too important.
If we lose against Wickham and I do like that, it doesn't matter if I did predictions on. Well, just that just means it was whack. Like,
yeah, true.
Because we should be winning that. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And they've got COVID as well recently. Game was called off at the weekend because of COVID. So
because of COVID. So I'm just like, bro, listen, if the match goes ahead, I'm doing it and we better win because I don't want to hear no excuses. Oh, we lost to Wickham because I did predictions. Like,
this guy, people are here now. 150 people here now. They're gonna
make sense.
They're gonna clip it.
I think what Theo was saying, even as far as the title contenders, I think he said what we didn't want to hear because
I know
we were both like, why didn't you say Tottenham?
Oh, to be fair, it is way too early, but I've got faith.
Yeah,
that we can. Look, let's be honest. If Mourinho's going to come and win trophies, you might as well win all of them in 1 year. Like, what's the point? What's the point of not doing that? Do you know what I mean?
Literally, I think, and this is something I want to get into as well. Yeah, do you think? I'm going to change the subject very quickly here. Do you think
go on.
Like Ali could turn into Ozil in a sense?
Oh.
Do you think so? Because that's how I'm starting to feel, bro.
You know what? I think it could, because that's going to what I was kind of saying about. I think he's just loved the limelight, very young, got to the top very quick, and I don't think he's got the passion for it. I think the Ozil one's slightly different in the sense that he has a had a fat contract at Arsenal, which kind of stopped because no one wanted to buy him because the contract was too big.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not really the case. Dele's more the case of he just he doesn't really seem to be passionate about it.
Also, playing we know this, like in football, you know that you always hear things like, playing under Mourinho is either hit or miss for a lot of players. Just the type of person he is. So someone like Dele, I feel like people could argue under Poch he was thriving. People could argue that. But obviously Mourinho's style of play, how he is as a manager, and in the dressing room, we don't know. Training, we don't know. I mean, we get glimpses, like I said, through the Amazon set, but we don't know for real.
Yeah.
So it's like it could just be a thing where he's just like, you know what, I'm not up for it. I'm not up for playing for this guy. Even though it comes with the bells and the whistles, it's Jose Mourinho. I don't feel like playing for him. And my heart's not, like you said, his heart's not in it.
But I think I think it's so easy for people to just categorize like did well with Poch, not doing well with Jose, because let's be honest, Dele's form has been dipping way before Jose came in anyway. Because everyone was saying, oh, Jose's the one to revitalize Dele, the one to bring old Dele back. And that was the first thing that Mourinho said. He said, is this Dele or Dele's brother? So it's kind of like, I feel like he was kind of declining anyway.
Yeah, no, of course.
But I do think it is hit or miss. Like Pogba, Mourinho clashed. Clearly, Dele Mourinho's clashing. At first, Eto'o and Mourinho clashed at Inter, but then he came through and won them the goods. And obviously, we're kind of seeing them that side more with Ndombele. Ndombele, everyone thought, get rid of him. Bro, I tweeted this earlier, right?
Everyone was like, it was like, yo, Ndombele's not fitting in well with Mourinho's new regime. He's not fitting in with obviously like him coming in and everything. Like we was hearing that a lot. And now look at him, like, I don't know. It's a bit funny. It's a bit
legit, funny. I say we, not us. Some fans legit wanted to sell him so we could bring in Troy Deeney and Kim Min-jae in the summer.
We were really linked with like real life. We were linked with Troy Deeney, like, and I was like, why would he's captain? Why would he? Why? I don't get why. I mean, he's settled. I mean, why?
Imagine we swapped him for Skriniar as well at Inter. We swapped on Ndombele. We didn't have him anymore.
Man.
We'll be finished.
What fans were saying they wanted Troy Deeney, because I know that we were linked with him. I definitely, and I even did something with BBC where it was like transfer window, transfer target. I know for sure we were linked with him, but it's like, George, you tell me how that makes sense. Why I'm the captain of this team, like I'm the captain here. Why am I now going to leave? And
then the whole thing just did not make sense. It did not make sense. I don't want to believe it. But news came out today. Sonny's got a documentary coming out on Prime. On the when is it? I think it might be today or soon. I saw it somewhere today.
You watching that? You watching that?
I'm watching that as soon as it's released. I'm there saying with my popcorn. I'm ready. I want to know how he trains. I want to know how he like brushes his teeth in the morning. I got
Sun Amazon series and chill.
Yeah. The missus will be there being like, getting ready for like, Amazon and chill. I'm like, no. You dumb. This is research time. I've got Sunny documentary. I can't be doing anything. Huh? No, I'm excited to see that, to be fair, because his dad looks like he would probably drill him hard.
I'm excited. I'm excited to watch it, bro. I'm never gonna lie. I find those types of stuff like proper intrigue. Like you said, just get some popcorn. Like for me, that's a night in. That's a night in.
Night in. It's chill. Well, we can't really go anywhere now anyway. So
yeah, every night is a night in nowadays anyway. So you know what I mean? It doesn't make a difference.
Very, very interesting take here from Toxic Gamers. I think Lloris is slightly overrated. He's a great shot stopper, but we can see too many goals. Your face change then was hilarious. I just saw, bro. Your face just went from. Like that as soon as I read that.
Do you know what it is? Yeah, I'm reading at the same time, and you know you're reacting at the same time.
Don't believe it. Don't believe it.
And the thing with George, yeah, you're like mad with the edit, so I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be.
You know, it's gonna get the little zoom in, black and white, depressed.
No,
we'll see that in the video after.
Do you agree? Do you agree with that statement? Oh, sorry about that, bro. Do you agree with that statement?
Right. Not at all. I think Lloris has been the best goalkeeper in the Prem the past year, 100%. And I'm not even like exaggerating it. I think Alisson, everyone's going to say Alisson this, that, and the other because he won the Prem. All right, it's easy to say because he won the Prem, but how much has that actually been down to him? He doesn't have to save anything because their defensive midfield was so good. Yeah. Whereas I would say probably March onwards, since he came back from injury, no goalkeeper has been better than Lloris. Any goal we've conceded has been down to our defense not being able to concede, not being able to sort out set pieces. He's stopped so many things. And you've actually, since the documentary, we've seen him be more of a leader as well.
Yeah, of course.
Unreal. I think he's been
and
unreal.
That's why my reaction was how it was, because that's what I was going to ask. What do you think? What would you say? Because I know you're saying that Toxic Gamers, what they said is a hot take. But like, is there anything in there you would agree with, like not leaving his line?
I think that, to be honest, I would have said that maybe a couple years ago, because he always used to do that thing where he just sprints out and then just causes a foul or whatever and gets around him. I think he had loads of mistakes in him before, but weirdly enough, since his injury, I think he's just, it's weird to say, but he's just matured so much and just become an unreal goalkeeper. And I was saying not even like a year ago, I was saying, oh, we need to go in for, what's his, I haven't forgotten his name now, the Ajax goalkeeper. It begins with an O.
It's like a few years ago.
Even like last year, like after we played them in the Champions League, I was like, okay, this is because he was only like 24 at the time.
You have to jog my memory, bro.
It was like
yeah.
Yeah, hold on. Ajax. It's annoying me that the names escape me. Ajax goalkeeper. It is Onana. That's the one. I had him in my Andre Onana. He is. How old is he now? Because he was when I last saw. So he is. Oh no, that's Ajax. What the hell? I think he's only like 20. He's 23.
What? So what? So if we said to you like, yeah, we're gonna get man, put like Lloris, just get me just.
I think I wanted him to be like his successor. I wanted to be his Lloris's successor, and I thought Lloris was coming like to the end of his kind of like tenure, but then he came back and has looked all good. So I don't think we need him yet. But I think one for the future for sure.
One for literally a prospect that we can look at and be like, okay, whoa, like we could actually put some money up for him in the near future.
What else we got here? A lot of people saying, no. The only player that is overrated in Spurs is no one. That reminds me of
listen, so can the beast. Yeah, come on, that's what I like. Gotta give him a round of applause for that one.
That reminds me of Conor McGregor. He's like, Apollo is absolutely nobody. No one's overrated. Well, actually, it's terrible. But you know what I mean? It was terrible. Don't watch that. Don't watch that.
Was that Irish?
Yeah. Don't listen. Scottish I could do. Irish is a bit of a weak point for me. There's an argument going in the chat right now saying Kane is becoming greedy. He's shooting from 40 yards too much.
Should he be kicking tap-ins? I'm confused. Like, should he be doing sweaty? He shouldn't be doing sweaty goals. Like, the hell? Like,
exactly. The guy's got it in the locker. Of course, he could shoot for 40 yards. He bangs them in all day long.
And that's an Arsenal fan. I put money down. That's an Arsenal fan.
Has to be. Exactly. Here we go. For instance, he's a striker.
He said he shouldn't be shooting from 40 yards out. Okay, so I'm confused. What should he be doing?
I apologize, Ronan, saying I'm Irish, very bad impression. Look, I was laughing too much. Give me another chance. Give me another chance another day.
I told you, I was like, wait, is that supposed to be Irish?
Scottish I could do because I got family in Scotland. Irish is a very bad week.
Ronan, my guy, come on.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Someone saying I can't see Gio Lo Celso getting back into the team.
Excuse my French, but
it's just we're deep into this. We're deep into the stream now, so it's fine. Look, he was one of our best players last season, if not best player last season, and now, I mean, he's just so injury prone. If Undon Ball has been smashing it, he's keeping him out easily.
Bro, he needs to run with that. That's his brand, bro. He needs to run with that.
I know Spurs have been running with it, and I know the Spurs admin's been follows me on Twitter, so I know he's been keeping an eye on the Undon Baller tweets. Even Pierre Højbjerg tweeted it as well. So I'm like, it's a movement.
I've always said this from Dembele, like it's too much flair, bro. It's too much.
He is flair. Everything that Man United think Pogba is. Everything. He actually is what everyone thinks Pogba is.
This is why some fans they're like, yo, George, bro, you rattled him.
It's true. It's true. I'm actually speaking like it's not even to rattle him. I think it's facts. I think everyone's expecting Pogba to be exactly what Tongi is all the time.
Yeah,
but
I think he just proves him. I think for me, he's just been proving himself like over and over. Like he's my guy, bro. I told you that's my guy. We're twins. Mum, that's my guy. Yeah. 100. I got
when you go home, let me know what he says. Right,
bro. I got the baby pictures. Right. Listen, I'll even FaceTime. It's lit. That's my guy. That's my broski. Bro, it's mad. You know this session, yeah? Bro, this is what this is about. Like, even when we're talking about football and stuff like that, yeah? Like, a lot of the time, I get so caught up in conversations that I'm like, I forget to like, you know how it is, whether it's your laptop, whether it's your phone, you like, things just, if you don't charge, obviously, they're going to die, innit? So it's mad. Yeah. Like, I could talk for hours on just forget what's going on around me. It's crazy.
Same.
It's crazy.
I just love, you're right. I could talk football for hours.
Then you have guys like Theo, yeah. Then this is what I said. I was like, wait. I remember a few years ago, yeah. It's like, yeah, word Bolton back for 10 minutes, and I was like, who cares about Bolton? And then when I came across Theo, I'm like, whoa, like, and he's not just like, shout out to him. He really goes hard with like, even just the vlogging thing. So like, that's why even with the guests, it's like, yo, we're getting guests on that, you know, love what they do, love football, and can have a chat. Do you know what I mean? So all of our guests 100%. Are going to make so much sense. They're going to make so much sense. And
I mean, Theo does it for a living as well on his street, so it's easy for him to come on.
Yeah. So I literally just hope like the the viewers continue to just get me, because we're gonna keep getting sick guests. That's all that's gonna happen.
100%. I think we've got to try and line up someone big for next week as well. Every week we're going to try and get people in.
Every week.
It'll probably be. Oh wait, no, we won't be doing next week's one unless we do it earlier, because Spurs are playing Wickham on the Monday. I forgot that's on the Monday.
Oh, so it will most likely. Yeah, it's like either one, bro. Either one.
We could either do it on the Tuesday and react to what's happened, or we can maybe do it earlier, like before the game, as like a preview.
Yeah, of course.
It depends. We're gonna see, because we want to get someone on as well. So we'll see what we'll work that out. But either next Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, something like that. We'll work it out. Yeah. We'll have a show either way. And plenty of videos throughout the week for. I know you missed like the start of the stream.
Bro, I'm in there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm definitely doing it, because I'm like, yo, like, I'm so excited. I'm always excited to have a chat. Like, even like just me and you, George. Sometimes I'm so excited to have a chat, because I'm gonna laugh, we're gonna talk sense, and it's just gonna be football. So I'm always excited to get in and actually have, you know what I mean, and host Hit the Bar, because. Hit the bar, watch along.
Hit the bar, watch along. You could join me and my dad to watch the game. We could be doing that. We could get all three in the building.
Listen, because I think people want it. They like the last few episodes we've done. You know, the feedback has been great. I just want to thank everyone. So really good. Man, we're definitely gonna keep going. And George, watch along. You give the green light, bro.
You can come in any time. You can start next week. Come on, join us next week.
Yeah, I'm there, bro. I'm there.
I'm buzzing. This is what we got. We're going for over an hour and a half in this one. We went a full 90. We're like Bale against Sheffield United. We actually made it past the full 90. It's amazing. We've still got 100 people in here.
Basically, it's just a thing like, next week, same time. And me and George can talk for ages, but we just want to keep it nice and sweet for you lot.
Exactly. And I think as well, I'm getting a bit hungry as well. Arsenal's coming up in 55 minutes. So a lot of people will be watching the Arsenal game. Hope they lose. But they're playing Newcastle, and they beat them last week.
Guys, George is so serious as well. He's not laughing. He's saying, "I hope they lose," and he just carried on.
It is deep. It's rooted. Like I hope they have a terrible day. I've got a lot of Arsenal mates as well, so I'm hoping that they are having a horrible day today.
100%. Nah, bro. Like proper happiness today, man. Sick episode.
Shout out! Look at this.
Actually,
a real one.
Miche is actually such a real one. No, that's facts, man. That's facts. And me and George will go in the distance till the wheels fall off, man. Hit the bar every Monday. I'm gonna let George sign up, because you get what I mean. He's the. You know what I mean?
Think about it. We already had some ideas that obviously with the 100 people that are left, we want to do some things like do some football in person. Do some I don't know, whatever it could be. We want to do these little things in person so that we can add that to these streams, but then also have them up as like separate videos and then just
of course. And we're down for that. We're gonna do all like even today someone asked me on Instagram, they said, "Oh, who's better out of football, you, Theo, or George?" I said, "Me." George wanted to fight me.
I replied swiftly to that one, saying, "Nah, I'm having you. I'm having you."
I said, "What, challenge?" George said, "Yeah, challenge." I said, "Okay, no problem."
Appreciate that, Enzo, man. Appreciate the comment, man.
Doing
the work. I can't lie to you though. This month's been a bit of a struggle, but this is this kind of stuff that keeps me going, because
of course, man.
I don't know. It's just YouTube happens, and YouTube in January in general, it's just a thing with YouTube. January is like a slump for most people, and that's just I've seen that. I've seen like things not doing as well, but then also we haven't been playing big teams. It'll pick back up again when we play Liverpool, and I think Man United's Chelsea is 2 games after that. Yeah. So it'll be good, and then once we can start doing this with more people, like today was a blast, man. I love this.
Yeah, today was sick, man. Theo was proper cool. He's proper lit, and nice, like I said, he loves football. I think he's just as long as you got football and personalities there, like top notch, man, top notch.
100%. So, all right, I think we'll leave it there, because we've been here long enough. A lot of you have been
full 90.
We came full 90, more than that. We've gone into extra time now. So, any VARs, late VARs.
We don't want to go to penalties. We don't want to go to penalties, yeah?
No. We do not want to go to penalties. Can't handle the pressure.
Every month, bro. You know, yeah. Listen, I don't even, because I'm too excited. I'm gonna keep going. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, look at this. George and Mika is the only live stream that can make me laugh so hard that I disturb my parents while they watch my match. Appreciate that.
Shout out to you, Salkin, the beast. And he wasn't the one that had the toxic the hot take. That was Toxic Gamer.
No, that was Toxic Gamer. Toxic Gamer comes
Gamers,
on.
nah. Yeah, every Monday, guys, we're here. Every Monday, we're getting lit. We got lit guests. So just get me subscribe to George's channel. And
obviously the Spurs fans out there, Expressions will be on soon. We'll be getting rants and bans soon as
well. Yeah, 100%.
Scorcher ASAP. 100%. As soon as you guys drop the music, and we'll 100%. Get him on guest that so we can kind of like show the world, show people.
100%.
And then I've got so many people, man. Don't worry, there's so much more to come for this.
So much more to come. Just let them wait for it, and we'll give them the bars. You know what I mean? We'll give them the bars.
Hey, the bars. We'll give these shots. Yeah. Oh, so many new segments, man. I want to do this truth. No, what do I call it? Oh, say it or shot it. That's perfect for hit the bar.
Perfect for hit the bar. No, we got it. Listen, let's never give too much because you know.
I'm just sprinkling it out there. I'm just a little bit of seasoning
salt
somewhere.
Bait, yeah? Like salt bait it is.
Salt bait. I'll do the salt for this one. So a little bit of teaser, and then when we come up with the full video, that's when we load the paprika, the Cajun. We're loading up the 5 spice, the Italian herb. That's what we're doing in these live streams. All right.
Hey, George, mind up, man. Hey, listen. Nah, always a blast, bro. I always have a blast, bro. You know me. I always have a blast.
I loved it. Hey, you two are as good as a duo as Pierre and Thogden, and we kind of, actually, we're kind of little.
Hey, listen, they had to say why? Why did he say Sanchez? Because he knows I'm Dembele. Why did he say that? Why did he say? He couldn't have said Sanchez. He said Dembele.
All right, no, listen, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll be for you. You can be on
my guy. Love Archie.
That is class. All right, we'll take that going forward. I just need to learn Danish and beef up a little bit, and then we're good to go. All right, people, I think we're done here. It's been a great stream. Loved it. Videos are going to be out tomorrow, Wednesday, like all week, especially because there's no Spurs this weekend. We've got plenty of stuff from the Theo stuff earlier when he was on. So we're going to have plenty of clips. So keep an eye out. Make sure the notification bell's on so you know when those videos go out. And I guess we'll see you guys next week for the next live.
We hit the bar. I guess we hit the bar then.
Hit the bar. We hit the bar. Shame we can't go hit the bar now, but I'm going to go have a drink with my dinner and we're going to have a good time. All right.
100%. 100%.
See you lot later.
Take care, guys.